Alex de Grassi here. This is the second in a series of 3 short videos on phrasing. And I just played a little from the beginning of my arrangement of Gershwin's It Ain't Necessarily So. This piece is in 4/4. It's got a triplet feel, so you might write it in 12/8, but I think it was 4/4 in kind of a shuffle rhythm, so it's got a very much of a blues feeling to it. What I want to talk about, in the first lesson we talked about offsetting bass notes from melody notes, and specifically we talked about keeping a steady bass pattern while we offset the melody note by first an 8th note and then 16th, 32nd, and then we flammed the notes, played them together, and so forth. So we get that sense of feeling of distance between a bass note and the melody note. If you listen to most singers, a lot of sax players, people playing lead instruments against a rhythm section, they're often playing, their phrasing is often such that they're playing their notes a little bit off the beat. Sometimes they're waiting a whole quarter note or half note to come in after the beat. So we want to be able to do the same thing when we're playing solo guitar. And this is sort of like having to separate your mind into 2 parts, the one that's being the drummer and the one that's being a free phrasing melodic instrument. So what I find very helpful in a piece like this, for example, this mostly quarter note, a lot of quarter notes in this song in the bass, or sometimes longer. Okay, so I'm playing something like that in the bass line at the beginning of this piece, but I'm trying to let the melody notes float a little more freely, so it sounds like this. Okay, so you notice the last notes, I play them very much together. That was very intentional because I want to sort of, I'm wrapping up the phrase that way and I'm emphasizing the unity of the rhythm there. But in the first part, trying to keep the lines free. So I've showed you the bass line, a little bit of that. We want to keep that steady. The melody, it's good to practice the melody independent of the bass line. So if you tap your foot 2, 3, 4 and play, play the melody as freely as you want, as if you were a singer. When you put the 2 together, hopefully you'll be able to hear the melody somewhat independently of the bass line and phrase it in a way that doesn't sound too blocky, like we're just playing all the notes perfectly as if they're written, the way they're written. So you see I'm keeping that bass line going steady. It's pretty much right on the metronome, but it's a simple quarter note bass line and it allows me to focus my energy on the melody note and phrase it the way I want. It's good to practice the 2 things separately and then put them together. So that's it.